Hello and welcome to the TKO's Talk Show. I'm Josh, and here with me is actually a very special guest. He's a YouTuber called Chris Ray. Say hello.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
So, this is actually the first time I've had a special guest, so this is going to be a little bit unique to me, and this is somebody I've been watching for years, so this is kind of a big deal for me. It's actually making me kind of smile a little bit. So, I actually wanted to talk to you about what got you into YouTube and what got you where you are and how you feel about, like, everything that's made you get there.
Wow.
Well, this is a big topic because this is something that, like, it's advice for other people and it's advice for, like, even somebody like me who's
No, yeah, definitely.
somewhat new to the scene.
Wow. What got me into YouTube? I think oddly, like, I joined YouTube like a long time ago, and I didn't really plan on doing it. I just made a throwaway account, which is why the URL name is so terrible. But like, I think it was Red versus Blue, oddly enough, which is, I don't know if anybody is that familiar with it, but it's a machinima series, which is just like a, an animation series made in the video game Halo. And I saw that and I was like, oh wow, I kind of want to do that. And then I did it, and it came out terrible, so I stopped immediately. But that was kind of how I got started. And then, like, I just, like, started to feel around and try to do different stuff until I found something that I was kind of good at. And the covers I did entirely by accident. Because
That was actually probably, like, that's what got me into it.
Yeah,
into your
I
channel.
know.
Was my friend was like, hey, look, this guy plays, because me and him were a big fan of Rise Against. He was like, dude, listen to this channel. And I was like, oh, sweet. The best part was my friend, same name, Chris. And he looked kind of like you. It made me laugh.
That's something I've heard so frequently that it scares me.
Like, he was just like, oh, here's this channel. I'm like, dude, this is you. And I showed it to a few of my friends, and they're like, that looks like him. I'm like, yeah.
That's crazy. Holy shit. That's really weird. I've heard that a lot, though, for some reason. Like, for some reason, people who look like me introduce people to me. That's the third time I've heard that.
That's funny.
It's really strange. But I did, the covers I started entirely by accident. Like, my laptop broke, and I couldn't do anything. I was like, oh, crap, I got this channel. And that was back when the subscriber base was small, but a lot of the subscribers were active.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of people watching at the same time, and I was like, oh crap, I can't get anything out. So I was just like, alright, well, I'll just turn my phone on, because that was the only way I could make videos. I would do it through my phone, and I did covers, and I think the first one I did, like, exploded. Like, it got on, like, MTV.com, and it was oh man, what was the name? It was Make It Stop.
That's a good song.
It was Make It Stop from Endgame, and I recorded that with my droid. And it got on MTV.com, and I was like, what the hell is this? Because it was my crappy video, and then I think the list that it got on MTV.com was the list of the best covers of this category. And Rise Against was in that category for that song. It was like best video with a message. And it was my video with a bunch of other ones that were like highly edited. It looked so out of place. But I was proud of that. So I kept doing it after that, and I guess a lot of people gravitated to it.
It's one of the things that got, like, that's one of the first things that I started watching, and then I started watching some of your other stuff. Like, I watched some of the Fat Battles. Those
That's
like,
really old school.
Not to be offensive, but it was like one of those, like, bad movies you just couldn't stop watching. It was that good.
No, entirely. That was
like, I was just sitting there going,
That was entirely the point. I wanted to make something so terrible
you couldn't take your eyes away.
That you couldn't not watch it.
And then, like, I forgot which one, like, the infomercial one.
Oh, man. I don't even
That
know.
was a great, like, you had it where it was a voiceover and, like, it'd be like,
That's right.
if you...
I remember that.
That was one of my other favorites, because I was just like, I could see that happening.
Yeah,
someday.
I don't even know what the hell is wrong with me. Like, I'll just... I guess it's a good thing because it's like, I don't get paid for this.
No.
It's very much a hobby.
Yeah.
So I don't really have to answer to anybody, so I could just do whatever the hell I want. And sometimes it's terrible. And sometimes it's terrible on purpose, and sometimes it's not. But, stuff like that comes from, I guess, not really caring.
It's one of those things where you've got total creative, like, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if people don't like it, they don't like it. If they like it, they like it.
I actually I was actually contacted by a network about a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to join the network. It was when I started doing the gameplays, which it's fairly recently.
Yeah.
I did a couple of like short gameplays, and I don't know. I stopped doing them after I didn't really care for how they were going, but like this network really liked it. It's like, hey, we want to sign you up for a network. I was like, all right, yeah, sure, why not? So I did, and then they messaged me. They were like, hey, so problem. We cannot sign you on to the network with your cover still on your channel, so you're gonna have to take them all down.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And I was like, oh, and not to be, like, they were pretty cool about it. Like, I was expecting them to delete all of them without my permission.
Yeah.
Because they actually had the authority to do that, but they didn't. So they were cool about it. Everybody that was understanding, but it was like, oh my god, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
That's like that's the main thing on my channel. It's
That's
like,
what everybody goes for.
I like to equate it to, like, do you know who Francis is? Like Boogie 2988?
No, I do not.
He's the fat guy who like rages at everything.
No,
He's gone viral several times, but it's he does that character, and it's Francis, and it's just like this nerdy kid who gets
the guy who broke his Xbox.
Yes.
Okay, now
well, I'm sure a lot of people do.
Well, it's the big video where he like completely like complains and smashes his Xbox.
That might be it, yeah.
I think.
But like, he has that character, and then that character is used to draw people in, and then when people are drawn in, they watch his other stuff, and they're like, oh, he's not like that person, and this is the stuff he does. That's kind of what my covers are, and oh man,
it's a gateway. It's kind of here's some of the stuff I do. This is kind of stuff I like.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I don't think anybody comes to my channel for video game stuff, even though I do a lot of video game stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
It's complicated water.
Yeah, it really is, because it's been like that for a little bit with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to know where to go.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially when you got no schedule. I tried to schedule for a while, and I was like, I can't schedule myself.
I just started a schedule, and I've been keeping to it. The only days that I've been missing are Tuesdays, and that's what this is. It's the talk shows, and that's because I didn't have any talk show topics or anything. But I was sitting there on my vacation, like just the other day, sitting in the car, having nothing to do. I watched one of your videos. I was like, I should see if he'd be up for doing one of these.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to contact this guy for a project of mine, because me and a few buddies were doing a machinima ourselves, like a type video, and we're like, I'm like, I need something that would work for this, and I want something more acoustic, and I want something a little bit depressing. There's a few songs of yours that I was like, this would work. This would, like, I was going to use it for a similar project, except for it was going to be live action.
Uh-huh.
And I ran out of cash for that.
That
I ran out of cash before it even started.
No, that happens a lot.
So I put that on the back burner, and I'm like, I'll come back to this. I like this idea. Similar idea, so I was like, I'm gonna contact you, see if I can use your stuff. And I was also sitting there going, I need a talk show thing, and you know what? Really cool guy. He's already let me use his music for my one project. Maybe he'd be up for this.
No, yeah. I look, I don't. If people ask me for it, I'll probably do it. Like, cause what do I got to do? I got free time.
Yeah.
Look at the kind of crap I'm doing.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like it's summer. I have
Yeah,
nothing to do.
I got nothing to do this summer. But like, yeah, I mean, if people ask me to use my music, I'm not gonna. If somebody like takes my stuff and uploads it and doesn't ask me,
Then you're gonna
and
be
that kind of gets annoying because I've had that a couple times. I've had my videos ripped
yeah,
and uploaded on like random websites, and it's like, well, you're
a douche.
kind of a jackass.
Like what? Like besides, like I like some of the music that you listen to is actually a lot of the same music that I listen to, and I kind of noticed that, and I kind of chuckled at that.
Uh-huh.
Is some of that music what it like? Some of the stuff that wants you to keep doing what you're doing, like push, because a lot of your own music. Well, I've listened to like almost all your own written work.
Oh, cool, thanks. That's awesome.
I love most of it. Like Revolutions for the Self-Loathing is one of my favorite.
Oh yeah, I really like that one too.
That was one of my
usually
favorites.
I usually really don't like a lot of the stuff that I make. Like I'll make it and then I'll like, I like it, and then a day later I'll be like, this is shit. I'll never I'll never listen to, because it's like, you always feel like you could do better, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I'm never satisfied with it, and like everything I put up, I'm like, I'm not satisfied with it. But
Yeah, that's how I'll be like, but whatever. This is the best I've got at the moment.
yeah,
But that was like, I heard that song, and that was like, I was actually having a friend who was kind of like, I just found out that she used to cut, and like some of the stuff, and like I just figured out some. I just like just got introduced to like this. Like she just told me, and I'm like, oh, hey, and like I just heard the song, and I'm like, wow. It's kind of like, and like that's probably one of the reasons I love your music, because it is punk. It's got that feeling of this is how we feel, and it's not just this is me. This is what I feel. This is what a lot of people go through, and it's part of the reason why I like your music, because it's sounds good. It's got a great message, and then I could relate to it, and I could sit there and go, wow. This is just This is exactly what I'm thinking. This is exactly how I'm feeling about this.
That's entirely like I'm really happy to hear that it sounds punk to you, because like I wish I could reach those notes that McElrath reach, and like but I can't scream for crap, and I love punk, but I can't do it in that way. So I'm glad at least that it comes out through the lyrics that way.
Well, the thing is, punk isn't like, this is at least what
I. Yeah, I know that, but it's like
it's great, and like recently, like a year ago. Yeah, a year ago, my friend he introduced me to Frank Turner, and I know you know Frank Turner because of one of your songs.
Yeah.
He showed me this guy, and I'm like, this guy's. At first, I liked the one song he showed me. It was Photosynthesis, and I got one of his CDs, and like. Some of the songs, like, at first I was just like, what is this? Because I got, like, one of his, like, greatest hits albums,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, what is this? This is not exactly what I thought it was going to be. And then I started listening to it a lot more, and I was like, this is wonderful. This is actually really good.
Yeah, it's, I was surprised by it.
And that's kind of, at first, like, your music is a softer form of punk, which is kind of what Frank Turner's is, and I like that. It's a nice change. It's actually something really interesting, and it's really cool to listen to, because I actually started off with a lot heavier music, Disturbed, Def Leppard, Slipknot, and then I got introduced to like Rise Against in my 8th grade year, and they were one of my favorites. And then slowly over time, it's been getting to the point where most of my music now is like Mumford and Sons, Frank Turner. I've been listening to a lot of like Irish and English bands recently. So
yeah, those are good. Like I love Irish. Speaking of Irish, like Flogging Molly was one of the big ones.
Flogging Molly's a good band.
I listen to a lot.
But it's like it encapsulates like all the emotions and all the feelings, and it's like really nice sound, and like you could sit there and listen to it and not like feel like your ears are going to explode sometimes.
Yeah, I try to, like, whenever I'm writing anything, I try to make sure that I'm not writing for no reason. Like I'll try to make sure that if I'm writing words, that there's a reason why those words are there, and it's not to fill up the just to fill up the just to fill up the track and just to fill up the page. I think there's only one song that I think I just sort of like, I'm just gonna, because when you're writing, I don't know if songwriting is that if that many people do it, but it's the process that I go through is like I'll sit with my guitar and then I'll like strum and I'll find like a chord progression and then I'll just say random words to fill up to find the
sound,
the melody of the vocals.
Yeah.
And there was only one song that I put out that was basically like a stream of consciousness that I didn't write beforehand.
Yeah.
That was kind of meaningless, I guess. But I don't remember which one that was. But yeah, most of the time, 99.9% of the time, it's I'm writing about very specific things that I think people might either need to hear or maybe want to hear or maybe you're feeling, regardless of whether or not the message is particularly positive. It's just sort of like, hey, this is a thing that people go through.
Yeah.
It's not alone, I guess.
And sometimes you kind of need to know that there are other people out there feeling that. It helps.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I've gotten quite a bit of. It's actually kind of stressful, but I've gotten quite a few like messages about people who like listen to a couple of my songs and like it helped them get through something, and it's like, oh Jesus, what am I doing?
Well,
like it's awesome, but it's so terrifying.
Yeah. Well, I had a situation with a friend where like I was in the middle of so much stuff. Like I was doing all this work and I was gaming with buddies and I was doing all this stuff, and I got a text from my friend, and I literally dropped. I went, guys, I'll be back. I don't know when, and I shut down everything. And I walked away, and I spent, I would like to say, an hour or two just talking with this person to make sure they were okay.
Yeah.
And like, as awful as that made me feel, it was at the end of it, I was so happy that I was able to like help the person.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, but like it's weird when you can't put like a face to the people.
Yeah.
Like it's oddly a lot more scary because it's like, oh my god, like if I have this influence, I mean, I don't have a big subscriber, but I guess relative.
To me, it's massive, but
yeah.
but
like I'm still on the way lower end.
Yeah.
Of the overall spectrum, and it's like to think that I can positively influence people is like nuts, but at the same time, it's like it puts kind of a lot of pressure to make sure that I don't negatively affect people because like that's entirely possible.
Yeah, it's a scary thing because you're like, I don't want these to these things to happen, but sometimes they do.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
Yeah, it's weird because I wish I could remember what most of the songs that I wrote were about. I mean, I could probably figure them out if I read the lyrics again, but Revolutions for the Self-Loathing, I don't remember. It's such a long time ago that I wrote that like I don't even remember what I wrote that about. It's crazy. I wrote so much since then.
Yeah, like, and I've been kind of out of touch with some of your stuff recently, but that's because I'm starting college in like 20 days.
You don't have to make excuses. It's fine.
It's one of those things where it's like, I loved watching this guy, but there's so much I have to do right now. It's like,
Yeah. No, there's,
And like,
I put out a slew of music recently that I don't know, I didn't put up.
I kind of did steal some of your songs off of YouTube to listen to them on my phone.
Yeah.
But at that point, there's no way to get them. So it's
I care so little about it. Look, if you're gonna, the way I see it is like, it's already free on YouTube, and like this isn't my living. Like I don't make money off of this. it'd be cool to, but like I'll always say like I'll put my music up for sale on Bandcamp, but I'll always be like, listen, if the audio, if for whatever reason Bandcamp's audio sucks, just go to YouTube-MP3 and fucking steal it. I don't care. I don't care. I've even advertised that fact before. That
yeah, I saw that the one time.
I advertised.
I kind of chuckled at that.
YouTube-MP3 is awesome.
I used to listen to YouTube.
Yeah, but it's whatever. You know, people are gonna steal music anyway, so
Yeah,
might as well be the cool guy who says, "Hey, here's how you can do it really easy." It's weird because like I remember the first time I put my music for sale up on Bandcamp, I was like, I feel so wrong charging people for it. So but I was like, all right, so I'll do it. I'll do 99 cents, whatever. And then I did it for 99 cents, and it wasn't getting any real. It wasn't getting anything. And I was like, well, that makes sense, I guess. Nobody's gonna pay for music now. I rarely pay for music. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put it for free, and people could, you know, choose to pay whatever they want for it, and that way anybody can get it if they don't have any money right now, or if they just want to take it without any money. And that was when I started getting actual like sales. Like, that's when I started actually making money from it, which is hilarious.
I think it's more of one of those things where it's like, oh, you're charging me for this, why should I have to pay? But then when it's like, oh, take it if you want, people are going to go, you know what? I guess I'll toss in a few dollars. It's when it came to video games, so it's like, I'll buy the game, and then if I see DLC, if I have to pay a lot for it, I won't buy it. But if it's genuinely really cheap and I like the guys who made the game, I'll toss money their way, like, non-stop. It's kind of a problem.
But yeah, it's weird because it's like, I guess people gravitate to being given that option.
Yeah. And like, moving on, because like, I know that you try to do movies and stuff with some of your other buddies, and I've seen some of the trailers and things, and they always look really interesting. Yeah.
I think I put up a couple trailers, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and I've been trying, like, I'll see the trailer, and I'll go, oh, cool. I can't wait to see, like, see if it's a full-long thing.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's no problem.
Those things never come out.
It's no problem. It's still entertaining to really see, because I kind of not like a story writer. I will write things. So like seeing all these things, I'm one of those people where I sit on the bus and I will look at people, and they become characters in my head. And then like I if I could watch anything and see anything, it usually allows me to sit down and work on stuff. Like I've taken so much from so many places and then just shaped it and made my own out of it that it is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's how it works.
I've enjoyed many of your videos, most of the music you've put out. Your covers are really nice. Like, I'm just like, I kind of wish I was that good at that kind of stuff. But each person has their own talents, and I have mine. I could just talk for hours, so.
Yeah. You know, man, it's weird because, like, the covers I do, they're so quick, and they don't really feel like I'm doing anything. So it's really, I mean, like, some of them take a long time.
Yeah.
People live here. I tried 78 times. That was such a stressful day.
Yeah.
The sun was going down by the time I finished.
That's actually the song that I listened to recently, because I was sitting there going, I'm going to watch this cover, because I haven't watched some of his videos in a while. I watched that, I'm like, oh, this is off the new album. I've been meaning to pick up the new album for the last month now. And so I was like, I'm going to listen to the song. And I'm like, ooh, this is a really good song. So I looked into the actual song. I was like, ooh, you did a really nice job on that.
Yeah. No, like, some of them take. Some of them I'll do it in like one take. Even People Live Here, I still didn't get it right. I messed up towards the end, and I pointed it out.
Yeah.
I had an arrow pointing to my hand where I messed up. I messed up. Deal with it. Because at that point I was livid.
Like, do you have anybody who, like, since day one has always been like, go get it done, have fun while doing it?
Uh, no, not even slightly. I mean, my parents like it and stuff like that, but like nobody really like shares it. But at the same time, I don't really share it with anybody I know.
Yeah.
Because it's like I have this weird reverse stage fright, where I will get on stage and do whatever the fuck in front of anybody, unless somebody I know is in the audience. It will completely ruin it for me. Because it's just like, oh man, if I do terrible this time, it's gonna be staring me in the face at Christmas parties, at family get-togethers. I'm gonna have to like realize that this person was there watching me bomb, and I'm like, ah. That's like I try to not share my stuff with my family, but then they find it. But all I ask is that, all right, listen, you guys watch it away from me.
When I'm not around. Just...
When I'm not around. Because it's like, if it's a bunch of strangers, it's like, you don't care. You're never going to see those people again.
I'm actually where it's like, I can't do it in front of people I know. They know how crazy and stupid I can be. So I've done hella stupid stuff in front of them. And generally I get a few laughs and, like, they think it's silly. It's other people who find my, like, stuff just totally ridiculous and stupid. It's like, hey, it's supposed to be stupid.
Yeah, I mean, the problem I have is that, like, I'm very much like that. I'm very much like, with my friends, I'm like stupid, and I'm usually not usually heavy-handed. It's just like oh, this is a fun day. I'm just gonna mess around and joke around all day. So when they see me writing so when I have to perform a song about suicide or anxiety, there's an odd disconnect there.
Yeah, like one of my favorite things was I forgot what it was called, and it might be, oh yeah, Tuxedo Bear was a good song. I loved that. I loved Tuxedo Bear, and I loved the one when you were going away to college, the one about hating the person.
Oh yeah.
I was like, you know what? I need to play this when I graduate.
Was that I can't remember if that was an original song or if that was like I feel like that was a parody.
That was a parody of the
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I saw that, and I was just laughing.
Those videos are all private now.
What? No.
Yeah, they're private.
Damn.
Ugh.
Yeah, like I'm looking at, oh yeah, fruitless milkshakes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was completely...
I'm looking at like your channel right now, just look, because like I remember a lot of these, but at the same time it's been so long.
There are so many videos that I've like I've been making videos since 2008, but like I think the public videos only go to like 2009 maybe.
I'm looking at How to Lower Your Weapon in Halo 3, and it's about 2008.
Yeah, some of them are selectively publicized. Well, the first song I wrote is private for some reason.
Oh.
Should probably change that.
Yeah, like, I'm watching you, I laughed at that. And like, I swear to God, I watched that about 10 times in a row, because it was just something to watch.
Which one was that?
I'm Watching You.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That one I watched a bunch of times. I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, still, like, a lot of it is just boredom. You get bored, I'm going to make something completely stupid. And then the video immediately after that is a same-sex marriage debate.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, sometimes there's a disconnect, and sometimes...
Yeah, you're covered.
But most of the times I just don't care enough.
Wow, I never noticed that 24,000 views on your Make It Stop video.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I checked, it was 15,000 last time I checked.
Wow.
No, it's weird, like sometimes stuff will blow. You know what really is kind of frustrating?
What?
The stuff that I will do off the cuff, the stuff that I will do with no preparation plan, the stuff that I will do with minimal editing will always get thousands of views. And the stuff that I will edit for like days and like several hours and for several days, they'll struggle to crack 100. And it's like, ah.
My thing is, first I was like, I'm going to do all this editing, get all the funny bits, And then I got to it and I'm like, I'm going to do 10 minutes of editing, cut it here and here.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is probably the best part of the thing, one. And two, this is probably the only part in the thing that people would be wanting to watch, because if I make it any longer than 10, 20 minutes, or 10, 15 minutes, people are probably not going to stick around.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. People have a very short attention span.
Yeah.
Even though, like, a lot of the stuff that I'll watch on YouTube is, like, really long form. Like, podcasts and stuff.
And this is going to be the final line of questioning and everything, because I'm sure you have stuff to do and I got stuff to do, and...
Yeah.
Like, all in all, have there ever been, like, moments you doubted what you were doing and, like, you wanted to stop and just be like, I'm done with this, I'm never coming back to this?
The more accurate question is, would be, like, when does that not happen?
No.
I get that feeling at least once a week, where it's like, I don't know, it's because it's like, again, I'm so rarely satisfied with the stuff that I do, because it's like, you have to sit there and realize that, you can't sit and make a video forever. The same thing goes with, like, music and game development and film. You can't sit there in production forever.
Yeah. Because
nothing will get done. Ironically. But, so sometimes you just gotta say, well, I'm gonna put it out. And, sometimes you think, like, I could have done better, but that's really the best that it could have been. So sometimes, there's always moments of doubt. Like when I'll put up a video, it's like, 5,000 views, awesome. And the next one's like 96. Okay. Maybe this isn't working too well, but, overall, I think.
Well, as a follow-up, like, how do you get past that then? Like, that feeling of, like, I should stop. Well, like, because I've had that twice, 2 or 3 times. Like, I just sat there and went, I did stop for about a few months because school, and I did not have the time or energy.
Yeah.
And then I got summer hit and things went bad in my life, and I suddenly magically had all this free time and all this energy to do it. So I was like, I'm just going to do this. And, like, every so often I'll get that, like, I want to give up. I just want to put this aside and maybe work on something else for a while. But then just, like, how do you get through it? Because I don't even know how I get through it.
Man, it's probably the same. Like, it's either a wave of random, like, I don't know, maybe sometimes I'll just feel like, I think it is? I think it's just a wave of pure apathy. Like, I don't care that it's doing bad, and, like, I realize that sometimes, like, I can't, I came to YouTube in the first place because I just like to do it. So, like, sometimes maybe some days maybe I won't, but ultimately, I'll always kind of keep trying to do it because it's a hobby, and, I like it. And maybe if I'm feeling like it's going to, like, if I feel like it's going too much of a rut and I'm doing the same thing over and over again, I'll try something else, and maybe that'll work. And that worked with the podcast, but that was so much production went into that. But you just keep experimenting and finding new things to do that make it less tedious and less repetitive.
Oh yeah, your podcast. That's how I learned how to hold the N64 controller. That was the first episode, and I was like...
It was the only episode.
Oh yeah. But, like, I sat there and I listened to it, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And from then on, whenever I saw one, I'm like, you're supposed to hold it like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
But
I'm surprised that you listen to the podcast.
I listened to, like, I think about 10, 20 minutes, and then, like, I was like, I have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But it was like...
That was so stressful to make. My idiot friend.
I think the hardest thing on my channel to do is these talk shows.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we sat there for last week, and the week before, and we were like, we're going to do one, and we're going to figure out a topic. And none of us could figure out a topic. And it's like, well, this is kind of my channel, and I'm the one that has to spearhead this, and I have no idea. As I told you, like, the two things that got me into it was an extra game show, and watching your channel pretty much almost every other day when I came home from school. That was probably one of the first things I did, is I hopped on YouTube, and I was like, what new video is out today? One of the other things that got me going was, like, I'm sitting there and we're goofing around with all my buddies, and I'm just like, I could do this. We all find what we do entertaining. Somebody out there has got to find this entertaining. And you know what? If I can't do anything productive with my life, I might as well entertain somebody with my unproductivity.
It's my exact mentality.
I don't know if, like, you probably feel the same way, but starting off, it's a really weird feeling, because it's like, how do I get anybody to notice my like I really don't care, but at the same time I kind of, it's one of those things where you don't care, you're just doing it for the fun of yourself, but then at the same time you're sitting there going, please let somebody see it, let somebody see it.
No, yeah, you always care, like,
and
I mean, the once the covers that I started to do started getting a lot more views than the rest of my stuff, I was like, all right, you know, I'm gonna do so many Rise Against covers that Tim McElrath will have to have seen one of them. That was my main goal for those. That's why I pumped out I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore, Tragedy Plus Time, and People Live Here almost immediately.
So that, like, it'd be like, boom.
So that if by the off chance they were searching YouTube for whatever reason for their stuff and seeing how that stuff was doing, they would have to have seen my face at least once. That was my only goal.
Yeah, it's that. Like, I've sat there and I've been like, and like every time I say this, I keep adding something on. My other, like, big, like, I have, like, kind of small goals in my head, and, like, some of them are massive, and some of them are teeny tiny. And some of them have been just to start a community of people to goof around with. And move on from there. And recently I've been working towards, like this is I would like to say one of my big low goals is to talk to somebody who has way more viewers than I do and do something with the person. And like, one of the other things was, like, the other day I was sitting there and I got a comment on one of my videos, and it was somebody with, like, almost 1,000 subscribers saying, oh, keep up the good work, this is really nice. And, like, I almost, like, shit myself. Somebody with that many viewers went, oh, hey, nice job. It was like, I only have 20.
See, the deceiving thing about, like, subscriber counts is that, you know, like,
it doesn't mean that they're watching.
Barely half of those people watch. Like, most of the views that come from any of my videos, any video that I have that has over 5,000 views, it's like maybe 10% of my subscribers.
Yeah.
And it's other people from around the internet. But, like, you know, 1,000 subscribers is, like, it's nothing. Like, when I got to it, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. I can't believe I got 1,000 people to click that button. And, but, you know, there's still so much. There's still so
many people, so much
more people, you know? So, like, even when you get there, you feel like, you know, I could still get higher. Yeah. Again, it's never satisfied.
Thank you for being in this. So.
Oh, no, yeah, no problem. You literally probably could have asked me 3 years ago.
Well, 3 years ago, I wouldn't have had the equipment. But,
that's true. Yeah, fair enough.
So, I'm calling this the wraps for the episode. So, I probably will come up with another few episodes down the way, guys. So, thank you, and everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. This episode is brought to you by the letter 7.
Oh, the letter 7? And the color...
Q.
Q. Thank you. Thank you. I forgot what it is.
I hear your laugh, I see your smile, I feel your presence, but meanwhile I'm walking far enough away that I won't recognize your face. I want to see you every day, but when I do I suffocate. You look right through me like I'm dust. Just what happened to us? Have you ever felt like fading away from the life this world has given you? Life's a winding avenue. Do you feel like you can't walk anymore? And these thoughts that bind and shackle you keep dragging you after you've given up. I walk through images of you each time the sun comes into view, and my heart grows heavier each day. But I refuse to fall back down. I'd rather die, I'd rather drown in all my tears now dried away. Have you ever felt alone and afraid while the world patiently watches you squirming down its avenue? Do you feel like you can't walk anymore? And these thoughts that bind and shackle you keep dragging you after you've given up. Friends come and go, but there's gray in between where we once took our places in each other's dreams. Do you still think of me, or remember the nights when I lent you my shoulder for the tears in your eyes? Where was I in your mind when you wiped me away? Is there something I did? Was it all me to blame? 'Cause I miss you too much to forget what we had. But if life without me's what you want, it's what you can have.